Hello and welcome to the second part of the September vlog. I do hope you're having a great last part of summer and beginning of fall. Now, what you're seeing here was actually supposed to be a sunrise hike, but it is shortly before sunset, so the thing that happened is it didn't work out, and we turned our sunrise hike into the sunset at the lake, which was honestly beautiful as well, as you can tell. And I think this is what felt like a last tiny island of summer amidst the starting fall. Well, it really feels like the beginning of autumn now. And I think I already felt it during the past few times where I went swimming. And a part of me is just a bit sad. Like that summer is over, that it's gonna be colder when swimming, that it's gonna be harder going outside, because when it's raining, I still love it kind of, but it's kind of hard to spend an extended amount of time outside when it's just wet and cold. But today I'm here to talk about the books I've read so far. Not this month, because I talked about all the other books I read this month already in my last vlog, but since the middle of the month, I guess. So the first book I read was The Vegetarian. I don't have it with me because I got it from a friend and just gave it back right after reading it. This author, she's Korean and she won the Nobel Prize for Literature. And when I read the book first, I was kind of infuriated and upset, and I thought I really didn't like the book. But then I talked to my friend who I had the book from, and we agreed on some things how we saw the book, and thought, okay, well, maybe it's actually a really good book, just not a book that makes you feel good. It's about a woman and she decides to stop eating meat, and this whole story is told through the perspective of other people. So she can't talk to us in this book, and it's just kind of I don't know, I don't want to say too much. Read it if you're interested, but it's a lot about mental health and the perception of maybe what's normal, what's desirable, and you get a glimpse into Korean society to some extent, I think, as well. So yeah, I can kind of recommend this book, but also it's just not a feel-good read. I wouldn't say the same for this book here. That's the other one I read. It's Den Mund voll ungesagter Dinge by Anne Freitag. And I remember I have read another book by her, and I did like that book a lot. So this is like having my mouth full of things I'm not saying. It means something like, I'm thinking so much, I want to say this stuff, but I can't somehow. And it's like a coming of age story of a woman, and it's queer, and it's it's morally gray in some areas, I would say, but I think that's the good part about this story, because not everything is always perfect, and we as people are not perfect. So I would say I do recommend this book, but I did like her other book that I read better, which was Vom Mond aus betrachtet ist das alles egal? Something like Looking from the Moon, all of this doesn't matter. I'm not sure if these books are available in English, but if you speak German, check out her books. And I'm interested to see how my mood is gonna change, because I remember at the beginning of the year I was in a similar mood of just being kind of restless, kind of I want to do these things, and then all summer long I had this amazing mood and doing all these things, and now it's does it have anything to do with the weather, with the seasons changing? Is it just happening? We will see. Hello, I'm in the forest and I'm glad I came. It's so cold suddenly, but the colors are starting to change, and I'm really enjoying the cold air, even though my hands are cold. Whoa, I have to climb over a tree. Okay. I'm heading to my special place from spring, if you remember, like where the fallen tree was, where I would sit. So let's check it out, because I haven't been here during the past few months, like just really rarely. I've been swimming a lot though, so I guess that's where my time went. Here we are. Ah, my sitting place. It's a bit wet because it's been raining. Have to take off my jacket maybe, but I'll spend some time here in the forest. I have two more books I read, and the first one is this one called Kriegslicht. I think this is in English originally, but I don't know the author. No, I don't know the title in English. I got this from a friend and I read it and I liked it. Like, not one of my favorite books, but it's something you can read and kind of interesting about the time after Second World War in and around London. And it's about two kids who were kind of left alone by their parents, and the son is like telling us his story in this book and kind of discovering stuff about his family that he didn't know before. So yeah, it's gonna link in my story graph as always, so you can check it out there. And then the next book I read, I got from another family member, is this one, All the Lovers in the Night. And I started the book, I was really exciting, and then I thought like, oh, do I like this book? And then now, as a conclusion after reading it, I would say yes, it's a really good book. I did really like it, and I can highly recommend you read it. It's translated from Japanese, and it's this story about a young woman, and I think the main topics would be friendship, love, and mental health, and kind of navigating adult life and thinking about what you really want to do with your life and what's important to you. And so this is, of course, something that I think is an important topic, and even though I don't really like see myself completely in this person, I still think it's a really good book, and I highly recommend you check it out. Then on a recent walk, because I've been going on walks a lot more the past few days, I found socks. I think maybe because swimming isn't that fun anymore, it's cold. But in this shed we have in our neighborhood where everyone can bring stuff and everyone can take stuff, like just circular economy thing. You know what I'm talking about if you watch my videos. But whenever I find socks my size, I usually take them because it just kind of equals out what I need. So I haven't had to buy socks during the past few years because I always just found a few pairs of socks. And recently I also realized that a few of my current socks are getting like worn down and have small holes. I haven't thrown them away because I would show you, right? If I decluttered, I might throw them away. But I think I'll have to throw away a few pairs of socks in the coming months. And so 2 new pairs have come into my life, and that's great. I'm happy if I don't have to spend money on socks, right? We made it back to the mountains, as you can see. This time I'm here with my boyfriend, and there's something I wanted to talk about to you, and I realized that these hiking videos are actually a great example. So I've always been a person that likes nature and that goes hiking. As a child, I went hiking with my family, and as an adult, I went on my own adventures, and especially while traveling, I would always walk through nature and go on hikes. And even though that part of my identity has never changed, it did look different depending on the year you would look at my life. So in some years I went hiking not one time. And in other years, like this one, I made an effort to go a lot. And Actually, basically, what I'm saying is that I think a lot of times when to the outside it looks like people are changing, or that people are inconsistent with their choices, or that we sometimes don't understand ourselves or others for the decisions they're making, it's not that they have changed. Is that the part of their identity we're thinking about looks different without the underlying values changing. For me, that would also be an example for sustainability. In some years, I lived almost zero waste while taking an airplane to go on vacation. But in other years, I would only travel by train and buy a lot more plastic. The values of sustainability stays the same, but the way I'm acting on it and the way I see my role in it has changed a bit. This goes for my belongings when it comes to minimalism. Of course, it's true for sexuality and many other things. So, the thing I am actually trying to say is just I've been thinking about that, and I want to embrace fluidity when it comes and not think of myself as someone who, I don't know, is undecided or doesn't stay true to their values, when in truth that's not what's happening, but it's just the way the values look on the outside changing sometimes. This time I'm actually a bit surprised it's already the last day of the month. Like, I was kind of shocked to realize that tomorrow, the 1st of October, is here, and I don't know. But I wanted to update you on my mood. It's getting better, I think. Not completely 100% up there again, which is fine. And also, I slept so terribly last night. I can only remember like a handful of nights in my whole life where I like slept worse. If worse, maybe the same. But I just wanted to kind of end this video talking to you. This is it for the September vlog. I do hope you liked it. And if you do, consider giving it a like and subscribing. And also, I'm gonna link you a video here that you can check out now. Also, don't forget that there is Patreon, where there's an extra podcast episode every single week. So if you want to have even more content from me, you could check that out. And then I do hope to see you here in my next video or somewhere else. Goodbye.